Hello and welcome back to another video, guys. Now that's right, today we're back with another movie review and it is for Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's right, so before we get started on the movie, I think it's always important with these kind of films like this to give a bit of background on where you sit with this franchise, because there's a lot of people I know that are older than me, obviously, that grew up with Ghostbusters. They experienced it at the cinema. It's an iconic piece of film history. It's just something that a lot of people have grown up with. Me, yeah, I watched it when I was a kid. Yeah, it was on telly a lot. My dad would put it on. I'm born in '97, so throughout the early 2000s, it was on telly a lot in my house. I never really connected with the second one as much. And I think that's the reason why I never was one of these diehard Ghostbusters fans, even though I do love the original. I think it's a classic. Didn't like the 2016 one at all, I'll be honest. I don't know if that makes me a sexist or just actually acknowledging that it's a bad movie. But anyway, yeah, I didn't like that film. So this film here, I was excited to go in and see it. I was a bit skeptical. I thought, yeah, I reckon I'll like this. I don't know if I'm going to like it as much as some of the diehard fans, but... Woo! Wow! Ghostbusters Afterlife! Wow! I had a feeling it'd be good, but did I expect it to be this good? No! Wow! I was really blown away by this movie, guys. So anyway, this film's directed by Jason Reitman, I think is how you say his name, who is the son, of course, of the original director. And the original director was there on set a lot as well. So when a single mum takes her two kids to live in the house of her recently deceased father, strange things start to happen. We get to see some spooky stuff. We got some ghosts popping up, and there's a mystery element, and wow. I mean, yeah, it's very unlike all of the other Ghostbusters movies. Because I rewatched the original last night after I saw this. And yeah, whereas the second one obviously sort of jumps right back into finding ghosts, and then the 2016 one is very quick off its feet to get into finding ghosts. This film here really just is a slow burner at the start, I'm not going to lie, but I think that works brilliantly because the build-up to get to the ghosts and the development of certain characters is perfect. And then the second act is great. It has my favourite action scene involving a car. There's sort of like a chase sequence, which is in the trailer. You can see it in the trailer where the car's driving about. And then the final act is incredible. It really is. So I guess sort of plot, it sort of is what it is. It's a gradual build up to a big explosion of ghosts, which, it follows a very similar plot structure to the first one in that sort of sense, I think. And I've seen a few people complaining about this, and you know what, I understand that complaint, but it really doesn't bother me because, in my opinion, while I don't mind the second Ghostbusters film, there hasn't been a good Ghostbusters since the first one, really. I mean, the second one's alright, yeah. There hasn't been, a great one, let's say. So I really don't mind the fact that to get another great one, we had to follow a similar plot structuring. The ghosts are really awesome. The baby marshmallow men, which were in the trailer. So cool. Love that. The acting, the cast, the characters, really great all round for the most part. I really like the actress Carrie Coon, who played the mum. I don't think I'm too familiar with her. Paul Rudd is just always a joy in films. He's just the most likable human being ever, even if he's in a bad movie, which I don't really think I've seen many films in with him that I thought were bad. But he's just always a pleasant time. And yeah, I liked the returning cast, of course. Incredible. I love Bill Murray. He's one of my favourite people on the planet. But I've got to say, the standout in this film, I'll give to McKenna Grace, who plays Phoebe, the young girl in this movie, who I'd never seen in anything before, and her character on paper should not be likeable. Normally when you get these young, really over-the-top, nerdy, smart characters, they come off as a bit arrogant and annoying in films. Here, down to the writing and her performance, she's so likeable. She's by far the most interesting of the kids. She stole this film. And I think that a lot of films are going to be hiring her now to play, younger female parts. I'm really excited to see where this actress's career goes because she was so good in this movie. Again, down to the writing as well, but her performance was brilliant. There's some really emotional moments in this film. The rest of the kids did a good job as well. I like the podcast kid. Finn Wolfhard's in this film. I think they just got him just to try and bring in some stranger Stranger Things fans. I'm not the biggest fan on him, I'm not gonna lie. He was actually one of the weaker parts of the film for me. But again, there wasn't loads for him to do in this movie. He's kind of, you know, it's much more focused on his younger sister, Phoebe. But yeah, really, really great characters and cast and stuff. It's really well put together. The next bit is very hard to talk about spoiling, but for those who have seen it will know exactly what I mean. The final act of this movie, they, of course, do their best to be respectful to the original film and a certain actor who's no longer with us. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I don't think I've ever cried in the cinema. I've had a little tear. I had a little tear when Iron Man died, for example. I'm trying to figure. I had a little tear in my eye during the ending of the 2018 A Star Is Born, but I've never actually cried in the cinema. And, you know, that's not me being like, oh, look at me, I don't cry. It's just, you know, it takes a lot to get me to cry, I think. And I really didn't think I'd get like this over a Ghostbusters movie. But for those who have seen it, and I think it's just knowing that this certain actor is no longer with us. And I got a feeling like Wakanda Forever's going to do that next year with Chadwick Boseman. It just hurts so much more when you know the actor actually isn't there, instead of it just being a character death. Because, wow, they done this as perfectly as they could. Genuinely mean that. The last act, in terms of handling, you know, being respectful to the original movie and certain actor, I think they done it as perfectly as they could. Really did. I don't know what... I really can't explain it. I was sitting there watching the movie, and all of a sudden I felt my eyes swell up, and then, like, tears come down. I had to keep going like this, and I saw it with Ryan, and even Ryan was like, I don't think I've ever seen you cry. So, yeah, for that final act, I think this film went from an 8 to a 9 out of 10. So, right, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10, which I know might seem a little bit too high for some people, because I think filmmaking-wise, it's in that 8 out of 10 ballpark. But I'm going to go with a 9 because they handled that so perfectly. And I can feel myself getting a little bit shaky talking about it now. It was beautiful. It really was. It was fantastic. I never thought a Ghostbusters film would be able to make me feel like that. Ghostbusters Afterlife is the best blockbuster we've had this year out of the big ones, out of the big action ones, the big superhero ones. Out of all of them, this is the best one, I think. It's up there with the Suicide Squad, I'll say that. Yeah, what an incredible movie. Guys, really, please go support this film. It deserves it. It's so good. It's so good. So anyway, there you go. There's my review of Ghostbusters Afterlife. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message. And as always, I'll see you next time for another video. Bye-bye.